Ignite action, the no filler or fluff ways to get stuff done. You know that feeling when your to-do list is so long that it feels like it might sprout legs and strangle you. Yeah, me too. The thing is, the longer we wait to tackle it, the bigger and scarier it gets. But here's the beautiful truth. Action is the antidote to overwhelm. Taking action, even the smallest step, can transform how you see yourself and your life. It's like lighting a match in a dark room. Suddenly, everything feels possible. When you act, you're sending a clear message to yourself. I'm capable, I'm in control, and I'm moving forward. Action is a superpower. We all have dreams, whether it's writing that novel, starting a business, or finally organizing the garage. Okay, maybe that's more of a nightmare, but dreams without action are just wishes. And no one's handing out magic wands. Action bridges the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. It builds confidence, momentum, and honestly, a bit of swagger. When you start doing instead of just thinking, you'll notice a shift, not just in your results, but in how you feel. Suddenly, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. Action is contagious. When you take steps toward your goals, you inspire others to do the same. You become the person people look at and think, wow, if they can do it, maybe I can too. But more importantly, action makes you feel alive. It connects you to your purpose and gives you the kind of energy that no amount of caffeine can replicate, though let's not underestimate the power of caffeine. You can start now. Think small. You don't need to climb Everest today. Just lace up your boots. Celebrate movement. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Did you do one thing today? Amazing. That's one more thing than yesterday. Use the momentum. The hardest part is starting. Once you're in motion, it's easier to stay in motion. Taking action isn't about getting things done. It's about becoming the kind of person who does. Is procrastination an issue? To break the procrastination cycle, you need to understand the roots. It's our sneaky little frenemy. It shows up uninvited, whispering sweet nothings like, you work better under pressure, or you deserve a break before you even start. And before you know it, you're 8 hours deep into a new series on Netflix, pretending tomorrow will somehow be less chaotic. But procrastination isn't just about laziness. It's not laziness at all. It's often about fear, overwhelm, or even perfectionism. Let's get to the bottom of this so we can break the cycle for good. There are reasons why we procrastinate. Fear of failure. What if I try and it doesn't work? Well, what if you don't try and nothing changes? Fear of success. This one's sneaky. Sometimes we're scared of what happens if we actually succeed. More responsibility, higher expectations. It can feel overwhelming. Overwhelm. When a task feels too big, our brain goes into shutdown mode. Instead of chipping away at it, we avoid it entirely. Perfectionism. If I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. If you're anything like me, this one sounds very familiar. This mindset is a procrastination breeding ground. Procrastination tricks us. Procrastination is a liar and a thief. It promises relief but delivers guilt. It tells you there's plenty of time, but suddenly deadlines are breathing down your neck. Understanding its tactics is the first step to outsmarting it. Do you know about the one more thing trap? Just one more episode, one more scroll, one more snack. Yeah, we've all been there. How about the tomorrow lie? Tomorrow isn't some magical, productive land. It's just another today. Stop wasting your todays by relying on the tomorrows. You can break free. Name your fear. Write it down. What are you afraid of? Often, just seeing it on paper takes away its power. Start tiny. Don't write the whole report. Just open the document. Don't clean the whole kitchen. Just wash one dish. Small wins lead to big victories. Create urgency. Deadlines work. If you don't have one, make one. Tell a friend, set a timer, or promise yourself a reward. There's power in starting. The most difficult part of this for me is that starting is the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum takes over. You don't have to feel motivated to start. Motivation comes after action, not before. Let me repeat that for those in the back. Motivation comes after action. After it. This was a tough one for me. Think of one thing you've been putting off. Got it? Good. Now set a timer for 5 minutes and start. That's it. Just 5 minutes. You'll be surprised how much you can accomplish in that short time and how often you'll keep going once you've started. Procrastination doesn't define you. It's just a habit you can break. If you've been diagnosed ADHD like I have, then you're going to insist that this one isn't true. I don't want to go too much into detail, but just know that there's a great chance you created habits out of survival coping mechanisms. That's my wording, not that of a professional. So let's call it what it is. Take a deep breath and just do the damn thing. Do you want to know the part of this process that I always refuse to do? Goal setting, clear and concise goals. Let's be real, wandering through life without goals is like trying to assemble IKEA furniture without the instructions. Sure, you might get somewhere, but will it look right? Probably not. Clear goals are your roadmap, your compass, your GPS with an annoyingly cheerful voice reminding you to recalculate. They take the chaos of I want to do everything and organize it into, here's what I'm actually going to do, step by step. Clear goals matter. Imagine you're on a road trip. You've got snacks, a playlist, and a tank full of gas. But no destination. You'll end up driving in circles, wasting time and energy, and eating all the snacks without ever getting anywhere. Goals give your energy a purpose. They're the destination for your effort. And here's the thing, vague goals like I want to be healthier or I want to be successful don't cut it. They're like setting your GPS to north. Sure, you'll move, but where are you going? Set goals that actually work. Be specific. Instead of, I want to get fit, try, I'll walk for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Clarity is key. Make them measurable. Numbers don't lie. How will you track your progress? Steps, pounds lost, chapters written. Keep them achievable. Dream big, but don't set yourself up to fail. Want to run a marathon? Start with a 5K or even some brisk walks around the block. Sometimes baby steps are necessary. Tie them to a timeline. Deadlines create urgency. Someday isn't a day on the calendar. Align with your why. Goals should excite you. If they don't, dig deeper. Why do you want this? What will it bring to your life? Grab a piece of paper or the Notes app if you're feeling fancy. Write down one goal. Make it specific, measurable, and tied to a deadline. Now ask yourself, does this light me up or does it feel like a chore? Adjust until it feels right. Use your goals as motivation. Here's the magic of clear goals. They motivate you to keep going. Every small win brings you closer to the bigger picture. And when you stumble, and you will stumble, they're the reminder of why you started in the first place. Your goals are your promises to yourself. Keep them simple, keep them clear, and most importantly, keep moving toward them. Focus on what truly matters with prioritization techniques. It's not as bad as it sounds. You've got your shiny new goals. Now what? It's easy to get overwhelmed by the sheer number of tasks vying for your attention. Suddenly, answering emails feels as urgent as starting that business you've been dreaming about. It's not, I promise it's not. This is about cutting through the noise and focusing on what really matters. Because let's face it, not everything is urgent or important, but it sure feels that way sometimes. Prioritization is a game changer. Life is a never-ending buffet of things to do. If you pile everything onto your plate, you'll end up with a mess and probably a stomachache. Prioritization is about choosing the most delicious, nutritious, and satisfying tasks to focus on first. When you prioritize, you're not just organizing your time, you're aligning your actions with your goals and values. It's the difference between being busy and being productive. There was a time I didn't know there was a difference. Do you know about the Eisenhower matrix? This is a simple tool that can change your life. It's a fancy name for a simple concept. Tasks that are urgent and important. Do these first. They're your life's non-negotiables. Tasks that are important but not urgent. Schedule these. They're your long-term goals, the ones that move the needle. Tasks that are urgent but not important. Delegate these. Let someone else handle the ASAP stuff that doesn't align with your goals. Tasks that are neither urgent nor important? Delete these. Yes, scrolling Instagram or TikTok for an hour falls into this category. Now you can prioritize like a pro. Do a brain dump. Write down everything you need to do. Yes, everything. Even if you just need to buy milk. Now sort and rank. Use the Eisenhower matrix to categorize your tasks. Tackle the big stuff first. Start with the urgent and important tasks. Do them when you're most alert, morning, caffeine-fueled, whatever works for you. Batch the small stuff. Group similar tasks and knock them out together. It's like multitasking but smarter. Align your priorities with your goals. Every task you choose to tackle should tie back to your goals. If it doesn't, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is it out of obligation? Guilt? Habit? Cut the fluff and focus on what truly moves you forward. Here's a quick prioritization exercise. Think of 3 things you need to do. Write them down. Now ask yourself, which one aligns most with my goals? Which one is the most urgent? Which one can wait or be delegated? Boom, you've just prioritized. You can do anything, but you can't do everything, at least not all at once. Prioritization isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. Focus on the tasks that bring you closer to the life you want and let the rest fall away. Now you can tackle the big tasks with confidence and overcome overwhelm. Let's talk about that gut-dropping feeling when you look at a big task and immediately think, there's no way I can do this. We've all been there. The sheer size of some goals can make you want to curl up under a blanket and pretend they don't exist. But no matter how huge a task feels, you can conquer it. One step at a time. Think of it like eating an elephant. Not literally, don't call PETA on me. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. The same applies to those monster-sized tasks. Overwhelm doesn't mean you're lazy or incapable. It happens because your brain is wired to freak out when it feels like you're in over your head. Big tasks feel vague and insurmountable, like a mountain with no trail. Your brain screams, this is too much. Abort mission. Overwhelm shrinks when clarity grows. Once you break that mountain into manageable hills, the path forward becomes way less intimidating. Break down big tasks. Start with the end in mind. Visualize what done looks like. Be specific. Instead of clean the house, think a decluttered living room with everything in its place. Chunk it down. Divide the task into smaller bite-sized pieces. For example, write a book becomes outline chapters, then write the intro, and so on. Set micro deadlines. Deadlines make things real. If the whole task is due in a month, decide what you'll tackle this week, today, or even this hour. Celebrate small wins. Every step forward is progress. You finished one chunk. Celebrate like you've conquered the whole thing. Dance, grab a snack, or give yourself a high five. There's magic to momentum. Here's something cool about breaking down tasks. Momentum kicks in. Once you complete one small piece, you'll feel a boost of confidence. Suddenly, the task doesn't feel so impossible anymore. You've got this. As much as some of us hate the thought of it, we should all know when to ask for help. Some tasks are overwhelming because they're not meant to be tackled alone. Delegating or asking for help isn't weakness, it's smart. Whether it's asking a friend for input or hiring a professional, there's power in sharing the load. Big tasks often trigger perfectionism. You think, if I can't do this perfectly, I shouldn't even try. But done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. Did you get that? Done is better than perfect. Focus on progress, not perfection. Take a big task you've been avoiding. Write it down. Now break it into 3 to 5 smaller steps. What can you tackle right now? Start there. Big tasks are just a collection of smaller tasks in disguise. By breaking them down and taking it step by step, you'll turn that intimidating mountain into a manageable climb. We're making progress. Now let's work on creating a productive environment. This one was honestly a game changer for me. Let's set the scene. You're sitting down to tackle your to-do list, but your workspace looks like a tornado hit it. There's a coffee mug with yesterday's last 2 cold mouthfuls of coffee, 3 open tabs on your browser. Yeah, okay, 12. And a cat sprawled across your keyboard. Your environment has a massive impact on your ability to get stuff done. If your space feels chaotic, so will your mind. But with a few tweaks, you can create a space that inspires focus, clarity, and action. Your environment matters. Have you ever walked into a spa and immediately felt calm? Or stepped into a messy room and felt your stress levels skyrocket? That's the power of your surroundings. Your environment sends signals to your brain. A cluttered space says, we're overwhelmed, let's stress. A tidy, organized space says, we've got this. And before you think, but I thrive in chaos, trust me, a productive environment will take your focus to the next level. Optimize your space for productivity. Declutter ruthlessly, clear out the junk. If it doesn't serve a purpose or spark joy, thanks, Marie Kondo, it's gotta go. Designate a work zone. Even if you're working from your kitchen table, carve out a dedicated space for productivity. When you're there, your brain knows it's time to focus. Let there be light. Natural light boosts mood and focus. If that's not an option, invest in good lighting that doesn't make you feel like a vampire. Minimize distractions. Silence notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and set boundaries with anyone who tends to interrupt or distract you. Yes, this includes pets. How are you supposed to get anything done with people talking, phones ringing and beeping, and animals going nuts? Personalize with purpose. Add elements that inspire you, plants, motivational quotes, or photos that make you smile. But don't go overboard. Too much decor can be distracting. And don't forget about digital clutter. Your physical environment isn't the only thing that matters. Digital chaos, like endless emails, messy files, too many open apps, can zap your focus just as much. Take time to organize your digital space too. Establish routines for your environment. A productive space doesn't stay productive by accident. Build habits around maintaining it. Tidy up at the end of each day. Keep supplies you use often within arm's reach. Regularly review and refresh your space to keep it inspiring. Look at your workspace. What's one thing you can do to make it more functional or inspiring? Maybe it's clearing off your desk, adding a plant, or finally getting rid of that stack of random papers. Your environment isn't just where you work. It's the foundation of your productivity. By creating a space that supports focus and action, you're setting yourself up for success before you even begin. Maximize your productivity with time management hacks. Time is a slippery little sucker. You start the day with good intentions, and before you know it, it's bedtime and your to-do list has barely budged. Where did all those hours go? Probably to a mix of doom scrolling, unexpected interruptions, and trying to figure out what to do next. Time isn't something you can find. It's something you make. And with a few hacks up your sleeve, you can turn those 24 hours into a powerhouse of productivity. Time is your most precious resource. Time is the one thing you can never get back. Money, energy, even motivation, they can all be replenished. But once an hour is gone, it's gone. That's why learning to manage your time is less about cramming more in, and more about doing the right things. Here are a few of the top time management hacks. The rule of 3. Each morning or the night before, choose 3 non-negotiable tasks to accomplish that day. These are your priorities, the stuff that really moves the needle. Once you've done your big 3, the rest is gravy. Time block. Treat your schedule like a puzzle. Block out chunks of time for specific activities, work, exercise, downtime, even laundry. When the block is over, you move on, whether the task is finished or not. It keeps you on track and prevents time from slipping away unnoticed. Eat the frog. Mark Twain once said, "If you have to eat a frog, do it first thing in the morning." Your frog is that one task you're dreading but have to do. Knock it out early, and the rest of your day feels lighter. Batch similar tasks. Grouping similar tasks together saves mental energy. Answer emails all at once instead of sporadically throughout the day. Make all your calls in one go. Your brain loves consistency. The Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. After 4 rounds, take a longer 15 to 30-minute break. These short sprints keep your mind fresh and focused. Set boundaries like a boss. Learn to say no to things that don't align with your goals. Your time is precious, protect it fiercely. Try a to-don't list. We're all familiar with to-do lists, but have you ever made a to-don't list? This is a list of distractions or bad habits you commit to avoiding. Things like no social media until after 2 p.m., no saying yes to unnecessary meetings, no checking emails every 5 minutes. Stay flexible. Even with the best time management strategies, life happens. Kids get sick, tech crashes, or your mood just takes a nosedive. And that's okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Build in buffer time and allow yourself grace when the day doesn't go as planned. Take a look at your calendar or to-do list. Pick one time management hack to try tomorrow. Whether it's time blocking, the rule of 3, or eating your frog, experiment and see how it feels. Managing your time is about owning your day instead of letting your day own you. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how much more you can accomplish when you take control. Now let's cultivate habits for success by building consistency. Consistency is the not-so-secret ingredient to getting things done. It's what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up halfway. But let's be real, staying consistent can feel like a never-ending uphill battle, especially when life keeps throwing curveballs. I have always said inconsistency is my one true consistent. It's a harsh truth that I'm still working to overcome. The good news is you don't have to be perfect to be consistent. You just have to keep showing up. Think of consistency like compound interest for your actions. Every small effort you make adds up over time, creating momentum and results you can be proud of. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something regularly. Build habits that stick. Start tiny. Want to start exercising? Begin with 5 push-ups. Want to journal daily? Write 1 sentence. Tiny habits feel so doable that you can't talk yourself out of them. Once they become automatic, you can build on them. Stack your habits. Attach a new habit to something you already do. For example, after brushing your teeth, meditate for 1 minute. While waiting for your coffee to brew, jot down your priorities for the day. Habit stacking creates natural triggers for your new routines. Track your progress. There's something satisfying about checking off a box or marking an X on a calendar. Tracking your habits keeps you motivated and shows you how far you've come. Plan for obstacles. Life happens, and that's okay. The key is having a plan. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. Just pick up where you left off. Consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about not quitting. Reward yourself. Celebrate your wins no matter how small. So, you finished a week of daily reading? Treat yourself to a new book. You hit your workout goal, indulge in a spa night. Positive reinforcement keeps you motivated to stay consistent. The myth of motivation. Motivation is flaky. It's there one day and gone the next. Consistency, on the other hand, doesn't rely on feelings. It's about commitment. You don't wait to feel motivated to brush your teeth, right? Treat your goals the same way. Choose one habit you want to build. Write down a starter version of it, for instance, 1 push-up, 1 sentence, 1 glass of water. Then decide when and where you'll do it tomorrow. Consistency isn't about grand gestures. It's about the little things you do every day. Focus on progress over perfection, and you'll be amazed at how far you can go. Let's keep going by silencing your inner critic by way of overcoming procrastination excuses. Procrastination is like that annoying friend who always convinces you to order dessert even when you're full. Except instead of a brownie, they're serving you excuses, are rich, sugary justifications for why you're not doing the thing you know you should. Do you know, most of those excuses don't come from the outside world? They come from inside your head. That's right. Your inner critic is running the show, and it's time for you to show them the door with a big swift kick in the arse. Excuses. Excuses feel valid in the moment, don't they? I'll do it when I have more time. I'm not ready yet. What if I fail? They sound so logical, so reasonable. But when you peel back the layers, they're just fear, doubt, or perfectionism in disguise. Let's bust through the most common procrastination excuses and give your inner critic a reality check. Excuse number 1, I'll do it when I have more time. You're never going to have more time. Time doesn't just show up gift-wrapped and ready for you to use. You make time by prioritizing what matters. Start with 5 minutes, whatever it is, writing, cleaning, exercising, commit to just 5 minutes. Chances are, once you start, you'll keep going. Excuse number 2, I'm not ready yet. Yeah, you're never going to feel 100% ready. Readiness is a myth. The magic happens when you dive in and learn as you go. Ask yourself, what's the smallest step I can take right now? Now, do that. Seriously, go do that. Excuse number 3, what if I fail? The classic fear of failure. Here's the thing, failing isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the journey. Every successful person you admire has failed, probably more than once. Reframe failure as feedback. It's not a dead end, it's a detour pointing you toward what works. Excuse number 4, I don't feel like it. Well, of course you don't feel like it. If you felt like it, it would already be done. If you waited to feel like doing the hard stuff, you'd never get anything done. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Action creates motivation. Are you sure you heard that? Are you paying attention in this moment? Action creates motivation. Use the 2-minute rule. Commit to just 2 minutes of the task. Once you've started, momentum will often carry you through. Silence the inner critic. Your inner critic loves to keep you small, safe, and stuck. They're truly a prick in disguise. But that voice isn't you. It's just an outdated script trying to protect you from discomfort. Talk back to it, literally. When that voice says, "You're not good enough," respond with, "Actually, I'm learning and growing every day, so thanks for your input, but no thanks." What an a-hole. Write down one excuse you've been using to procrastinate. Don't procrastinate this, you have time. Send it in a text message to yourself if you have to. I'm sure your phone is nearby. Then write a rebuttal, something kind, empowering, and factual. Read it out loud. Excuses may feel comfortable, but they're holding you back. Break free from their grip, and you'll discover that you're capable of so much more than your inner critic gives you credit for. Are you still with me? Take a second, stop, and listen. Do you hear anything? What do you see? Embrace the present moment by putting mindfulness in action. Have you ever started working on something, only to realize 20 minutes later that your mind was somewhere else entirely? You're physically there, but mentally, you're replaying last night's argument or worrying about tomorrow's deadline. I know I spent a lot of years with multiple tabs open in my head. That's where mindfulness comes in. It's like an anchor, pulling you back to now, the only moment where action actually happens. Mindfulness matters for action. When your mind is scattered, so is your energy. You can't give your best to a task if part of you is stuck in the past or racing toward the future. Mindfulness helps you focus, reduce stress, and be fully present with whatever you're doing. Practice mindfulness in your everyday life. Start with your breath. Your breath is always with you, which makes it the perfect anchor. If you're feeling distracted, pause and take 5 deep breaths. Focus on the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. Single task like a pro. Multitasking is a myth. Pick one task, give it your full attention, and watch your productivity soar. Notice the small stuff. Whatever you're doing, washing dishes, typing an email, walking the dog, pay attention to the details. The warmth of the water, the sound of the keyboard, the way your dog's ears flop. This keeps you grounded in the moment. Check in with yourself. Set a timer to go off every couple of hours. When it does, pause and ask yourself, what am I focusing on right now? How do I feel in this moment? Let go of perfection. Mindfulness isn't about being Zen 24/7. It's about noticing when you're distracted and gently bringing yourself back. Progress, not perfection. Here are a few mindfulness exercises for action. The 5-4-3-2-1 method. When you're feeling overwhelmed, name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. The 2-minute pause. Before starting any task, take 2 minutes to sit quietly, breathe, and focus on your intention for that task. Let's bust some mindfulness myths. I don't have time for mindfulness. Mindfulness doesn't require an hour-long meditation session. You can practice it in seconds, anywhere, anytime. I have to clear my mind completely. Good luck with that. Minds wander, it's what they do. Mindfulness is about noticing the wandering and coming back to the present. With practice, you'll notice how much better you get at this. Pick one task on your to-do list today and commit to doing it mindfully. No distractions, no multitasking. Just you, the task, and your full attention. Mindfulness isn't just about finding calm, it's about finding clarity. When you're fully present, you unlock the power to take intentional, meaningful action. Cool. I'm glad you're present with me in this moment. Now let's discuss accountability. Going it alone is tough. Sure, you're perfectly capable of crushing your goals solo, but having someone in your corner is so much better. That's where accountability partnerships come in. Imagine having a cheerleader, a drill sergeant, and a life coach all rolled into one. That's the power of an accountability buddy. It's not just about having someone to report to, it's about sharing wins, swapping strategies, and lifting each other up when the going gets tough. There's something about telling another person your goals that makes them feel real. Suddenly, skipping out on that workout or bailing on that project feels less like, whatever, and more like, I promised someone. This works because we're social creatures. We thrive on connection and support. When you know someone's rooting for you and expecting an update, you're way more likely to stay on track. Find your accountability partner. Look for someone you trust. This isn't about picking your nicest friend. It's about finding someone who will be honest with you. Someone who can call you out with love when you're slipping and celebrate your wins like they're their own. Align your goals. Your partner doesn't need to have the same exact goals, but it helps if you're both working towards self-development. That way you can motivate each other without feeling out of sync. Set clear expectations. Decide how often you'll check in, how you'll hold each other accountable, and what kind of support you need. Are you looking for tough love or gentle encouragement? Spell it out. Be a great accountability partner. Show up. Be consistent. If you commit to weekly check-ins, stick to it. Listen without judgment. Sometimes your partner just needs to vent. Let them. Celebrate progress. Even baby steps deserve a fist bump. Offer solutions, not criticism. If they're stuck, help brainstorm ways forward instead of focusing on what went wrong. The beauty of accountability partnerships is that they're a two-way street. You're not just receiving support, you're giving it too. And there's something incredibly fulfilling about cheering someone else on while chasing your own dreams. Who is one person in your life who might make a great accountability partner? Reach out to them today with a simple message like, "Hey, I'm working on this goal and thought it might be fun to team up as accountability buddies." What do you think? Accountability isn't about pressure, it's about partnership. Together, you can achieve more than you ever could alone. However, no matter how hard you try, life still continues to happen. Challenges and setbacks are real. Don't let them stop you from achieving your goals. Bounce back. Setbacks are inevitable. No matter how perfectly you plan, life has a way of throwing curveballs, deadlines get missed, plans fall apart, motivation takes an unannounced vacation. It's important to remember that setbacks aren't the end of the road. They're a detour, a chance to learn, adjust, and come back stronger. The secret isn't avoiding challenges. It's learning how to face them head-on without losing your momentum. Reframe setbacks. Setbacks feel heavy because we label them as failures. But what if you saw them as feedback instead? Each challenge is a chance to figure out what's not working and course correct. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" It's a small shift, but it makes all the difference. Here are a few strategies for bouncing back. Pause and process. When things go sideways, your first instinct might be to panic or give up. Resist the urge. Take a breath, step back, and give yourself a moment to process what happened. Identify the root cause. Ask yourself, was the setback within my control? If so, what could I have done differently? If not, how can I adapt moving forward? Adjust your plan. Setbacks often signal that something needs to change: your approach, your timeline, or even your goals. Be flexible and willing to pivot. Focus on what you can control. You can't change the past, but you can control your next move. Shift your energy toward what you can do right now to keep moving forward. Build resilience. Practice self-compassion. Beating yourself up won't help. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend in your shoes. Remember your why. Reconnect with the reason you started this journey. Let that motivation fuel your next steps. Celebrate small wins. Even in the midst of a setback, there's always something to celebrate. Find it and let it remind you of your progress. Think about a recent setback you faced. Write down 3 lessons you learned from it and 1 action you can take to move forward today. Setbacks aren't roadblocks, they're stepping stones. Each one is a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more determined. So when life knocks you down, get up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. You've got this. Be sure to celebrate milestones. Take a moment to acknowledge something. You're doing amazing. Seriously. Every little step you've taken, every small win you've accomplished, it all matters. And yet, how often do you pause to celebrate those moments? Life moves fast, and it's easy to think, I'll celebrate when I reach the finish line. Waiting for the big win robs you of the joy you deserve right now. Celebrating milestones, no matter how small, fuels your momentum and keeps your motivation alive. Celebrating matters. Every milestone you hit is proof that you're moving forward. It's a reminder that your effort is paying off, and it gives you a chance to bask in the glow of your progress. Plus, your brain loves it. Celebrating releases dopamine, which reinforces positive behavior and keeps you wanting more of that success. Celebrate without overthinking it. Keep it simple. Celebrations don't have to be elaborate. It's not about throwing a party every time you check off a to-do list item. But hey, if you want to, go for it. Sometimes a quiet acknowledgement like saying, I did that, is enough. Make it personal. Think about what brings you joy. Is it treating yourself to a favorite snack, watching an episode of your comfort show, or taking a guilt-free nap? Whatever it is, let your celebration reflect what makes you happy. Share the win. Telling someone about your achievement amplifies the celebration. Whether it's a friend, family member, or accountability partner, sharing your success creates a ripple effect of positivity. Did you start a new habit? Celebrate it. The hardest part is getting started. You stuck with something for a week, a month, or more? That's huge. Maybe you faced a tough task and came out on the other side? That's worth celebrating. Celebrate the journey, not just the destination. Remember, life isn't a race to the finish line, it's a series of moments to savor. By celebrating along the way, you're acknowledging the effort it takes to grow, evolve, and move closer to your dreams. Take 5 minutes to write down 3 milestones you've achieved recently. Next to each one, jot down a simple way you can celebrate. Then actually do it. You're not just building success, you're creating a life filled with joy, pride, and fulfillment. Celebrate that. Do you know the impact of living a fulfilling life? Taking action isn't just about checking items off a to-do list. It's about living a life that feels purposeful, balanced, and deeply satisfying. When you commit to action, you're not just achieving goals, you're nurturing your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. The ripple effect of action. Every time you take a step toward your goals, no matter how small, you're sending ripples through your life. Emotionally, action builds confidence. It's like telling yourself, I can do this over and over. Mentally, progress clears mental clutter, giving you more space for creativity and focus. Physically, movement, whether it's exercising, tackling chores, or organizing, releases endorphins, boosting your mood and energy. Action enhances fulfillment. When you take charge of your life, you're not waiting for happiness to come to you. You're creating it. Each completed task, each brave step forward, adds to your sense of accomplishment and control. Procrastination, on the other hand, drains your energy and self-esteem. It creates a loop of guilt and inaction. But every time you choose action, you're breaking that loop and saying yes to a life of fulfillment. Align actions with values. One of the most powerful ways to nurture well-being is by aligning your actions with your core values. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Are my daily actions moving me closer to what I value most? When your actions align with your values, every step you take feels meaningful. Practice self-care through action. Self-care isn't always about bubble baths and Netflix binges, although those are lovely. Sometimes it's about doing the hard things, like decluttering your space, setting boundaries, or tackling that project you've been avoiding. Taking action is one of the greatest forms of self-care because it's an investment in your future well-being. Think about one action you've been putting off. What's one small step you can take today to move closer to completing it? Do it and notice how it shifts your mood and energy. Taking action isn't just about achieving goals, it's about nurturing your best self. Every step forward, every choice to act brings you closer to a life that feels fulfilling and aligned with who you are. Keep going. You're creating something beautiful. Now embrace your role as the architect of your life. Every word here has been leading to one central truth. You hold the pen, the blueprint, and the power to shape your life. Taking action isn't about being perfect. It's not about having all the answers or always knowing what's next. It's about saying yes to progress, even when it feels messy or uncertain. It's about showing up for yourself because you deserve a life that feels fulfilling, vibrant, and unapologetically yours. Some key takeaways to remember. Action is empowering. Each step you take builds momentum. It transforms what ifs into look what I did. Procrastination is just a hiccup, not a roadblock. You've learned how to recognize and overcome the triggers that hold you back. You've got tools to keep moving, no matter what. Small wins matter. Every goal, no matter how big, starts with a single step. Celebrate those milestones and never underestimate the power of tiny victories. You're not alone. Accountability, mindfulness, and the right environment all support your journey. Lean into these resources. They're there to lift you up. Move forward with confidence. You don't have to change everything overnight. In fact, you shouldn't. Sustainable change happens one intentional action at a time. Start small, keep going, and before you know it, you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come. There will be setbacks. We're only human. But setbacks don't define you. What defines you is your resilience, your determination to keep trying, and your refusal to settle for a life that's anything less than what you deserve. You are the architect of your life. You don't have to wait for permission, the perfect moment, or someone else's approval. You are capable of designing a future that excites you, motivates you, and brings you joy. So take a deep breath, roll up your sleeves, and get to work. Your future is waiting for you, and it's going to be amazing. Thank you for trusting me to walk this path with you. I can't wait to see all the incredible things you'll do. Be sure to comment here and let me know what you try and what works for you. You've got this, really. And if you ever need a reminder, come back to this video. These words are here for you whenever you need a little extra encouragement, a pep talk, or a push to take that next step. Now go out there and build something extraordinary. You deserve it.